We can now move on to item 4, adoption of the summary records of the 12th session of the committee held in Jeju Island, Republic of Korea, from 4th to 9th December 2017. And I'll invite Mr. Tim Curtis, Secretary, to present this item to us. Mr. Curtis, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairperson. This document presents the summary records of the 12th session of the committee. The summary records are provided to you in application of Rule 4.5 of the Rules of Procedure of the committee. During that session, the committee discussed and took a series of important decisions which are related to your ongoing work. This is a very long document of more than 230 pages, but it provides a record of the debates to be preserved and, if needed, referred to during this session or in the future. We hope that it provides a faithful summary of the interventions of all the members of the committee and observers during the 12th session of the committee. Recordings of the debates are available on the webpage of the 12th session of the committee. Thank you, Mr. Chairperson.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Secretary. I now open the floor. Does anybody wish to intervene on this item? In that case, let us move now to the decision. Please refer to document 4 and its draft decision in paragraph 7. You can see it now on the screen. May I ask the committee to adopt draft decision 13(4) as shown on the screen. Seeing no objection, I therefore declare decision 13(4) adopted. We will now continue with the 2 oral reports scheduled on our timetable. These are report of the chairperson of the Committee on the Bureau activities and report of the Non-Governmental Organizations Forum. I will begin by presenting to you the outcomes of Bureau meetings held since our election in Jeju Island last year. Immediately after my presentation, I will give the floor to the representatives of the NGO Forum to present their report. Dear colleagues, according to the rules of procedure of the committee and the operational directives of the convention, the committee entrusts its bureau with significant tasks and responsibilities. While the committee meets only once per year, the Bureau can meet as many times as necessary. The Bureau meetings can be face-to-face or through electronic consultation. This flexibility is very important for the implementation of the Convention at national and international level. It allows the adoption of operational decisions between two committee sessions. What are the tasks that the committee entrusts to its Bureau? On the international level, the Bureau is asked, first of all, to coordinate the work, fix the dates, times, and order of business of committee meetings. Concerning the implementation of the Convention at national level, the Bureau is also responsible for examining and approving international assistance requests up to $100,000. The Bureau also exercises any other task the committee assigns to it. Before going into our specific achievements made in the course of this year, I would like to seize this opportunity to sincerely thank the members of the Bureau for their active participation, hard work, spirit of cooperation, and the trust they bestowed upon me. Because of this, we were able to examine and decide on a variety of important issues, and it has been my pleasure to work with all of you and to share this Bureau. During our mandate, we had 3 face-to-face meetings. We examined a diversity of issues relating both to safeguarding intangible cultural heritage at the national level, but also to the implementation of the Convention at the international level. What did we accomplish? Let me briefly report on the main decisions that the Bureau has taken at these meetings. Once again, this year, we dedicated most of our work to the examination of international assistance requests. We have examined a record number of 24 financial assistance requests, 22 international assistance requests up to $100,000 US, 1 preparatory assistance request, and 1 emergency assistance request. This high number is a confirmation that the measures taken by the 6th session of the General Assembly in 2016 were effective. By increasing the ceiling for the amount of the international assistance requests that the Bureau can examine from $25,000 USD to $100,000 USD, states gain easier and a more timely access to the Intangible Cultural Heritage Fund. Of the 24 requests examined, 16 were approved. They were submitted by Colombia, the People's Republic of Korea, Haiti, Kyrgyzstan, Mauritania, St. Kitts and Nevis, Senegal, Togo, Tonga, Ukraine. And we also had 2 requests from Mongolia and Zimbabwe. We also approved a preparatory assistance request from Albania, as well as an emergency assistance request from Colombia. The scope of these projects varies largely, including projects aiming to develop community-based inventories, build national or local capacities for implementing the Convention, safeguard specific living heritage practices, and foster the transmission of living heritage through education. Furthermore, for the first time, the Bureau this year examined and approved 3 international assistance requests in which state parties requested international assistance that partly takes the form of services from the Secretariat to the state. In addition to the provision of a grant, the states concerned by this new modality are Democratic People's Republic of Korea, St. Kitts and Nevis, and Senegal. For those projects, the UNESCO field offices in Beijing, Dakar, and Kingston will be partly implementing the projects, with only part of the funds being directly transmitted to the state. The UNESCO field officers will be directly providing the states with expert services, the necessary training, the supply of equipment, etc., so that the project can get rolling. Let me congratulate the states granted financial assistance and wish them successful safeguarding of their intangible cultural heritage. Dear colleagues, we were also confronted with the reality that many states still encounter difficulties in preparing international assistance requests that meet criteria laid out in Chapter 1.4 of the operational directives. Regrettably, we decided to refer 7 requests back to the submitting states and not to approve one of the requests. The Bureau also initiated a discussion that affects the overall implementation of international assistance mechanism. This concerns the increasing number of international request assistance up to $100,000 submitted by the same state party, either at the same time or in quick succession. I will say no more on this because the Bureau requested that a specific item on multiple submissions of international assistance requests be inscribed on the agenda of this committee session. We will therefore discuss this topic extensively under item 12. Other than financial assistance requests, this year the Bureau was called upon to study important budgetary questions. The committee, by its decision 12-7, delegated to its Bureau the authority to decide upon the utilization of the funds allocated under other functions of the committee. In the plan for the use of the resources of the fund, accordingly, the Bureau this year approved a plan for the utilization of the funds for other functions of the committee for period 1st January 2018 to 31st December 2019, based on a proposal prepared by the Secretariat, and this corresponds to an amount of $1,718,184. Finally, as is the case every year, we approve the timetable of the current session, which was presented to you on 2nd October during the information and exchange sessions. Dear members of the committee, before I open the floor for comments, I would like to underline that the transparency has been sought for the organization of the meeting of this Bureau. In accordance with Recommendation 69 of the Open-Ended Working Group on the Governance, when a Bureau meeting is convened, the Secretariat is asked the Bureau members to communicate the date and venue of the Bureau meeting within their respective electoral group. Furthermore, the agenda, documents and decisions of each Bureau meeting of the committee of this convention are published online and available to be consulted for anyone who wishes to do so. In addition, the Secretariat shares the decisions of the Bureau with all committee members through an email communication. This is the end of my presentation on the activities of the Bureau. I will briefly open the floor for comments, questions or clarification with regard to what I have presented. Thank you. Does anybody wish to take the floor? Yes, I see Sénégal. Oui, Sénégal, je vous donne la parole.
Merci, Monsieur le Président. Je voudrais pour commencer remercier le pays hôte pour l'hospitalité chaleureuse dont nous sommes l'objet depuis hier. Nous sommes chez nous. je voudrais également remercier le secrétariat pour la disponibilité et l'accompagnement depuis au moins 2 ans sur la mise en place de ce projet que nous avions engagé sur fonds propres au Sénégal et que nous avions appelé le pré-inventaire. Aujourd'hui, il est renforcé par cette assistance dont nous avons pu obtenir de la part donc, de cette délibération du bureau. Nous vous remercions, nous vous exprimons toute notre gratitude pour cela. Cette assistance va renforcer ce travail qui s'est fait depuis 2 ans et nous permettra non seulement de faire l'inventaire, mais de renforcer les capacités nationales en ces termes pour l'élaboration de plans de sauvegarde, mais également pour l'élaboration de modules d'éducation dans des phases tests au niveau des écoles. C'est important et nous travaillons avec le bureau de Dakar, avec qui le partenariat se fait depuis très longtemps et heureusement que ça se confirme à travers ce projet. Je voudrais pour terminer donc vous dire malheureusement une vidéo plus parlante, plus concrète devait vous être projetée, mais la délégation sénégalaise est bloquée à Nairobi et n'a pas pu arriver. Moi j'ai pu quand même être là avec vous. Si vous le permettez, cette vidéo sera présentée plus tard. Et je vous remercie et je renouvelle toute ma gratitude au bureau pour l'assistance qui a été accordée. Je vous remercie.
Merci Sénégal pour ces beaux mots. Et je vois aussi que Djibouti voudrait intervenir. Djibouti et ensuite Cuba.
Merci Monsieur le Président. Avant d'arriver directement à mon thème d'intervention, je voudrais d'abord adresser au nom de la délégation djiboutienne tous nos remerciements au gouvernement mauricien, au ministre de la Culture, des Arts et de la Culture de Maurice, pour l'accueil et l'hospitalité chaleureuse qui nous ont été offertes pendant tout notre séjour. Je voudrais également d'emblée féliciter le secrétariat de la Convention pour l'excellent travail et l'organisation de cette cérémonie qui sans doute est de référence au niveau mondial. Je voudrais souligner d'une part qu'au niveau du Djibouti, nous voudrons remercier tous les États qui nous ont soutenus pour notre élection au sein du comité intergouvernemental en juin 2018. À ce sujet, pour l'avancement de la mise en œuvre de la Convention, Djibouti avait déjà tenu avec l'aide de l'UNESCO à laquelle nous adressons nos remerciements, un atelier de sensibilisation sur la mise en œuvre de la Convention en juin 2018. À l'issue de cet atelier, un autre projet a été formulé à l'endroit toujours du secrétariat de la Convention pour une demande d'assistance internationale moins de 100 000 $ en vue du renforcement de la Convention au niveau national. À ce niveau, il est important de souligner que Djibouti a ratifié la Convention en 2017. Et comme déjà nous assistons au niveau de l'UNESCO à une réforme de la gestion à objectif-résultat, une réforme de la rédaction des rapports périodiques, il se trouve que nous avons besoin qu'on puisse déjà nous informer sur la périodicité des réunions du bureau pour savoir le temps qu'il faut pour obtenir une réponse d'une demande. Je vous remercie.
Merci beaucoup Djibouti. Tout à l'heure, naturellement, le secrétariat va réagir sur votre requête. I now invite Cuba to share with us their comments.
Gracias, señor presidente. Deseamos agradecer igual a Mauricio por la calurosa acogida que nos ha dado y acoger la sede de esta 13ª sesión del Comité de Patrimonio Inmaterial. Deseamos también agradecer al Reino de España por facilitarnos la traducción pasiva y poder hablar en nuestra propia lengua. Y un saludo a todos los colegas que se encuentran hoy aquí en la sala. No profundizaremos mucho en el tema porque hay 2 temas en la agenda que hablan un poco sobre lo que usted ha presentado y es el tema de la asistencia internacional, en particular el nuevo mecanismo que se estudia de monitoreo para buscar una alternativa con las oficinas fuera de sede para el cofinanciamiento de estos proyectos. Creo que es una iniciativa loable, ya que algunos países podemos tener algunas dificultades para la implementación de estos proyectos, sobre todo en algunos temas como la compra de equipamientos. Lo que sí creo que debe ser un proyecto piloto ajustado a cada realidad de cada país que solicite o que esté ejecutando un proyecto de asistencia internacional, pero nos parece en principio que es una iniciativa que puede ser productiva y lo hablaremos con más detalles cuando se vea este tema en la agenda. Y de igual modo deseamos felicitar al Buró por los esfuerzos en la articulación de las recomendaciones de la gobernanza y el documento presentado, que sabemos que fue un trabajo que descansó un poco también en el Buró. Y nos parece que es un tema muy importante, sobre todo el tema del fortalecimiento de capacidades para los Estados miembros a la hora de la solicitud de asistencias, de las asistencias internacionales al fondo, por las complejidades que tiene todo mecanismo de solicitud y que conllevaría a mejorar las capacidades nacionales para que los países se vean motivados a presentar y a utilizar estos fondos en la correcta implementación de la Convención. Muchas gracias.
Thank you for those words of appreciation for the work of the committee. And may I ask Mr. Curtis if he has any response to the comment to take the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairperson. I understand in particular Djibouti had a question about the time required for processing international assistance requests through the Bureau, meaning under 100,000. There is no fixed statutory time. We are doing our best to process these as fast as possible, and indeed the Bureau has worked hard this year examining many requests, much more than in the past. We have discussed the issue of international assistance at the General Assembly, including through the reinforcement of the capacity of the Secretariat. But the Bureau is scheduled to meet roughly 4 times a year during the year, which means once every 3 months. And we try, in general, to process, get from a delay of about 4 months, I would say, would be the average, and it is not an exact figure of receiving a request and being able to get it approved by the Bureau. But this is where we are at now. It is expected that this will improve with the reinforcement next year. And I'll be reporting more on this mechanism later. And indeed, the other issues that were raised will be discussed later. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Curtis, for this clarification. Let us now move on the second report and invite the representative of the NGO Forum to join us on the podium to tell us briefly on the NGO Forum activities. As you might recall, at the 18th session of the committee in 2013, we decided to systematically include the outcomes of the forum in our meeting. And let me, at this juncture, invite Reme Sakir from Syria Trust for Development, of course from Syria, and Ananya Bhattacharya, contact base from India, to join us, please. May I now request the 2 representatives to come up with a report. Thank you.
The ICH NGO Forum would like to start by thanking the host country of Mauritius and the UNESCO Secretariat of the 2003 Convention for their kind hospitality and facilitation of the meetings and the work on the occasion of the 13.com sessions. As an international platform for accredited NGOs to the Convention, the Forum is committed to contribute to the implementation of the 2003 Convention and the safeguarding of ICH. Over the past 6 years, the Forum has achieved many concrete results. 6 regional ICH NGO forum networks have been established for exchange and cooperation at the regional level. We have 6 working groups working on specific issues such as capacity building, research, ethics, overall results framework, lighter ways of sharing, safeguarding experiences, ICT and ICH. The online journal Heritage Alive has around 40 plus contributions so far. This year itself, we have received 11 articles, and we are planning to come out with a publication next year on traditional food. We have the newly launched ICHNGO.net for facilitating sharing of ICH practices, events, and for inventorying, complementing the forum website. We are introducing an ethics program responding to the ethical principles of the convention. The forum is also taking initiatives for consultation on the role of NGOs, inter alia, for the implementation of the 2003 convention. The 2018 ICH NGO Forum Symposium held here yesterday focused on the roles of NGOs in implementing the 2003 convention. 3 NGO meetings were especially held in 2018, devoted to the inter alia process for further elaboration, bringing up a number of possibilities like suggestions like mapping the possible contributions of NGOs in alignment with the functions of committee and the overall results framework, to strengthen the capacities of accredited NGOs in relation to the possible roles, example via online survey database mapping the capacities. NGOs can play a crucial role for taking up roles of mediation, facilitation, and cultural brokerage with respect to cultivating local to global safeguarding processes in ICH. This mediation role of NGOs for ICH was highlighted already as well as in the debates of the committee and the General Assembly, and the brokerage is mentioned in the new 2016 OD chapter on sustainable development.
Following this, the Forum would like to express its deep satisfaction with the transparency and dialogical nature in which the reflection on the ways in which the participation of NGOs could be further enhanced, and how this reflection process will contribute to the development of the current accreditation system. Looking over and learning from the online consultation results, along with the Secretariat and the ad hoc working group, is something we look forward to in 2019, with recommendations and decisions made and taken at 14.com. During this 13.com, however, the ICH NGO Forum will have its first fully elected steering committee, with each of the 6 regions represented, along with a seat reserved for international NGOs, to maximise the exchange of experiences and to develop our governance structure and guarantee good participation. This steering committee, along with the General Forum, will play an integral role in the training of regional NGOs on regional network building and reporting, as well as on outreach programs. Mr. Chairperson and committee members, the ICH NGO Forum consistently calls on and makes great efforts to better communicate and connect with state parties. We reiterate this call to deepen our communication and strengthen collaboration to further develop our regional networks and develop the capacities of NGOs working under the 2003 Convention. Thank you.
Thank you for this very interesting presentation. And of course, the committee is fully aware of the NGO Forum towards the implementation of the Convention and the safeguarding of living heritage. We are also very conscious that most of the members of the Forum are voluntarily giving part of their private time to support this cause. This is in fact, an inspiring example for all of us. I believe that a discussion is being initiated in this current session to further reflect on the participation of NGOs in the implementation of the Convention. This discussion will take place under item 13. At this juncture, therefore, allow me to take this opportunity to personally thank the Forum for its continuous efforts and to acknowledge the vital role of non-governmental organizations in the implementation of the Convention at the national and international levels and in safeguarding our intangible cultural heritage. I'm sure that we are all impressed with the work you have achieved so far. Thank you. Dear members, the next item is a report by the Secretariat on its activities. Allow me, before giving the floor to Mr. Curtis for his presentation, to invite the committee members to take a moment to pay homage to two experts, Dr. Yelena Korosh from Kazakhstan and Mr. Edward Jubara from South Sudan. I am sorry to learn that they passed away very recently as they were getting ready to attend this meeting. For Dr. Korosh, may I recognize the distinguished delegates of Kazakhstan. Please, the floor is yours. Kazakhstan, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would still like to start with congratulating the host country and the Secretariat for the excellent arrangements of our work. Honorable Chairman, distinguished participants of the meeting, the Kazakhstan delegation is saddened to inform of the untimely passing of a leading expert of Kazakhstan's National Committee for ICH, Dr. Yelena Korosh, on October 17, 2018. Born in 1957 in the city of Almaty, Kazakhstan, Dr. Korosh graduated in 1981 as an architect from the Almaty Institute of Architecture and Construction. She has long been involved in the protection of cultural heritage of Kazakhstan, particularly following our country's joining of UNESCO in 1992, and participated in a number of international trainings in the field of safeguarding heritage sites. Dr. Korosh authored the first Kazakh report on the implementation of the World Heritage Convention, and her knowledge and professionalism were instrumental in Kazakhstan's earliest successful nominations to the World Heritage List: the Mausoleum of Hoja Ahmed Yasawi in 2003, and the petroglyphs within the archaeological landscape of Tamgali in 2004. As an expert associated with ICOMOS, she always played a significant role in helping to prepare the nomination of sites, including those along the historic Silk Roads with the neighboring countries of Central Asia. Following Kazakhstan's ratification of the Convention for the Safeguarding of the Intangible Cultural Heritage in December 2011, the National Commission of the Republic of Kazakhstan for UNESCO and ISESCO relied on Dr. Korosh's experience and expertise to support the work of the country's newly created National Committee for ICH. As the committee's expert, she dedicated the last few years of her life to preparing a draft nomination of the traditional spring festive rites of the Kazakh horse breeders, which will be considered at this particular session of the ICH committee. An accomplished scholar, Dr. Korosh was passionate about safeguarding the cultural heritage of not only her country, but of all humankind. In this respect, I would kindly ask the chairperson to consider proposing that this session participants honor the memory of Dr. Korosh with a moment of silence. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Kazakhstan. Since there is no delegation from South Sudan, may I now ask Mr. Curtis to say a few words on Mr. Jubara. Mr. Curtis, please.
Thank you. Mr. Edward Jubara was the Director General of Archives and Antiquities for the government of South Sudan. He was instrumental in liaising between UNESCO and the government to promote South Sudan's ratification of the UNESCO conventions in the field of culture, including the ratification in 2016 of the 2003 convention. Mr. Jubara worked alongside the Minister of Culture, Youth and Sports to support safeguarding activities on the ground, which concretely led to the training of a team of experts in May this year to inventory South Sudan's rich intangible cultural heritage. He represented his country at several of the Intergovernmental Committee meetings, where he brought the needs and aspirations of South Sudan to the global agenda and expressed his confidence that safeguarding living heritage would help to lay a solid foundation for the future development of the country. His commitment and passion will not be forgotten, and our heartfelt condolences go out to his family.
Dear colleagues, let me now invite all of you to observe a minute of silence to honor Dr. Korosh and Mr. Jubara. Thank you.